Budget 2021 highlights. The Union budget has been structured on the overall theme of ease of living. This has been achieved by farmer-friendly initiatives such as agriculture credit target of rupees 15 lakh crore for 2021. The schemes of Kisan Rail and Krishi Udan for the seamless national cold supply chain for perishables and expansion of PM Kusum to provide 20 lakh farmers for setting up standalone solar pumps. In the health sector, budget proposes more than 20,000 empaneled hospitals under PM Jan Arogya Yojana for poor people, an expansion of Jan Aushadhi Kendra scheme to all districts offering 2,000 medicines and 3,000 surgicals by 2024. Infrastructure receives a boost with 100 most airports by 2024 to support Udan scheme, and operation of 150 passenger trains to be done through PPP mode. Starting apprenticeship embedded courses through 150 high education institutions by March 2021, and a proposal to establish Indian Institute of Heritage and Conservation are some of the other higher major highlights. Establish a Indian Institute of Heritage and Conservation. The FM said that the budget aims to achieve seamless delivery of services through digital governance, to improve physical quality of life through national infrastructure pipeline, risk mitigation through disaster resilience, social security through pension and insurance penetration. The budget is woven around three prominent themes. First, aspirational India, in which all sections of society seek better standards of living with access to health, education and better jobs. Economic development for all, indicated in the Prime Minister's exhortation of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. Caring society, third point, caring society that is both human and compassionate, where Antodaya is an article of faith. The three broad themes are held together by corruption-free, policy-driven good governance, clean and sound financial sector. The three components of the aspirational India are agriculture, irrigation and rural development, wellness, water and sanitation, and education and skills. Agriculture, irrigation and rural development. The finance minister said that more than rupees 2.83 lakh crore would be spent on agriculture, rural development, irrigation and allied activities, as farmers and rural poor continue to remain the key focus of the government. Reiterating the commitment of doubling farmers' income by 2022, she said, government has already provided resilience for 6.11 crore farmers insured under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Agriculture credit target for the year 2021 has been set at rupees 15 lakh crore. All eligible beneficiaries of the PM Kisan will be covered under the KCC scheme. Moreover, comprehensive measures for 100 water stressed districts. Proposal to expand PM Kusum to provide 20 lakh farmers for setting up standalone solar pumps, and for another 15 lakh farmers to solarize their grid-connected pump sets, setting up of efficient warehouses at the block or taluka level, and in horticulture sector with focus on one product, one district for better marketing and export are some of the steps in that direction. Foot and mouth disease, brucellosis in cattle, and also Peste des pestis ruminants (PPR) in sheep and goat to be eliminated by 2025. Coverage of artificial insemination to be increased from the present 30 to 70%. Manregas to be dovetailed to develop fodder farms. Doubling of farm milk processing capacity from 53.5 million metric ton to 108 million metric tons by 2025 to be facilitated. Similarly, on the blue economy, raising of fish production to 200 lakh tons is proposed by 22 to 23. Youth to be involved in fishery expansion through 3,477 Sagar Mitras and 5,000 fish farmer produce organizations. Fishery exports hoped to be raised to rupees 1 lakh crore by 2024-25. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana for alleviation of poverty. Half a crore households are mobilized with 58 lakh self-help groups, and it will be further expanded. Wellness, water and sanitation. Dwelling on the wellness, water and sanitation theme, FM said rupees 69,000 crore is being provided for the health care, including rupees 6,400 crores for PMJ. FM said under PMJ there are more than 20,000 empaneled hospitals, more in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities for the poorer people. Setting up hospitals in the PPP mode, mainly in the aspirational districts, using machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence, in the Ayushman Bharat scheme. TB Harega Desh Jitega campaign to end tuberculosis by 2025. Expansion of Jan Aushadhi Kendra scheme to all districts offering 2,000 medicines and 300 surgicals by 2024 are some of the other wellness measures in the budget. On sanitation front, government is committed to ODF plus in order to sustain ODF behavior, and the total allocation of SBM is rupees 12,300 crore in 2020-21. Similarly, rupees 3.60 lakh crore approved for Jal Jeevan Mission and rupees 11,500 crore in 2020-21. Education and skills. On education skill front, the FM said rupees 99,300 crore is being allocated in 2020-21 and rupees 3,000 crore for skill development. New education policy will be announced soon. About 150 higher education institutions will start apprenticeship embedded degree diploma courses by March 2021. Degree level full-fledged online education program to be started. Under it, studying in India program and INDSAT is proposed to be held in Asian and African countries. A National Police University and a National Forensic Science University are being proposed in domain of the policing science, forensic science, cyber forensics, etc. It is proposed that special bridge courses be designed by the Ministries of Health and Skill Development, Economic Development, Industry, Commerce and Investment. Referring to the theme of economic development, FM said that rupees 27,300 crore would be allocated for development and promotion of industry and commerce for the year 2020-21. An investment clearance cell will be set up to provide end-to-end facilitation. It is proposed to develop 5 new smart cities in collaboration with the states in PPP mode. A scheme to encourage manufacture of mobile phones, electronic equipment and semiconductor packaging is also proposed. A national technical textile missions would be set up with a 4-year implementation period from 2020-21 to 2023-24 at an estimated outlay of rupees 1,480 crore to position India as a global leader in technical textiles to achieve higher export credit disbursement. A new scheme, Nirvik, is being launched to support mainly small exporters. GEM is moving ahead for creating a unified procurement system in the country for providing a single platform for procurement of goods, services and works. It is proposed to take the turnover of GEM to rupees 3 lakh crores. 3.24 lakh vendors are already on this platform. Infrastructure. On infrastructure sector, as highlighted by the PM, that 100 lakh crore would be invested over the next 5 years. National Infrastructure Pipeline was launched on 31st December 2019 of rupees 103 lakh crore. It consists of more than 6,500 projects across sectors and are classified as per their size and stage of development. FM said that about rupees 22,000 crore has already been provided as support to infrastructure pipeline. Accelerated development of highways will be undertaken. This will include development of 2,500 km access control highways, 9,000 km of economic corridors, 2,000 km of coastal and land port roads and 2,000 km of strategic highways. Delhi-Mumbai Expressway and 2 other packages to be completed by 2023. Chennai-Bengaluru Expressway also be started. It is proposed to monetize at least 12 lots of highways, bundles of over 6,000 km before 2020-24. Indian Railways aims to achieve electrification of 27,000 km of tracks. FM said that within 100 days of assumption of this government, it has commissioned 550 Wi-Fi facilities in as many stations. 4 station redevelopment projects and operation of 150 passenger trains would be done through PPP mode. The process of inviting private participation is underway. More Tejas type trains will connect iconic tourist destinations. High-speed train between Mumbai to Ahmedabad would be actively pursued. Similarly, 100 more airports would be developed by 2024 to support Udan scheme. Air fleet number expected to go up from the present 600 to 1200 during this time. Allocation of rupees 1.70 lakh crore proposed for transport infrastructure in 2020-21. Similarly, allocation of rupees 22,000 crore proposed for power and renewable energy sector in 2020-21. Expansion of national gas grid from the present 16,200 crore from the present 16,200 km to 27,000 km proposed. New economy. On new economy, FM said that a policy to enable private sector to build Data center parks throughout the country will be brought out soon. Fiber to the home (FTTH) connections through the BharatNet will link 1,100,000 or 1 lakh gram panchayats this year. It is proposed to provide rupees 6,000 crore to BharatNet program in 2020-21. Measures proposed to benefit the startups include a digital platform for seamless application and capture of IPRs, knowledge translation clusters to be set up across different technology sectors, including new and emerging areas, for designing, fabrication, and validation of proof of concept, and further scaling up technology clusters, harboring test beds, and small-scale manufacturing facilities to be established. It is proposed to provide an outlay of rupees 8,000 crore over a period 5 years for the National Mission on Quantum Technologies and Applications. 8,000 crore over the 5 years for the National Mission on Quantum Technologies and Application. Caring Society, Women and Child Social Welfare. Harping on the theme of Caring Society, FM said that rupees 35,600 crore proposed for nutrition-related programs for the financial year 2020-21. Rupees 2,600 crore proposed for programs that are specific to women. Moreover, rupees 85,000 crore would be allocated towards the welfare of scheduled caste and OBCs for 2020-21. Similarly, for furthering development and welfare of STs, rupees 53,700 crore is proposed for 2020-21. She said, the government is mindful of the concerns of the senior citizens and Divyang. Accordingly, an enhanced allocation of rupees 9,400 crore is being provided for 2020-21. Culture and Tourism. On culture and tourism, establishment of an Indian Institute of Heritage and Conservation under the Ministry of Culture proposed with the status of a deemed university. 5 archaeological sites to be developed as iconic sites with on-site museums, that is Rakhigadi in Haryana, Hastinapur in UP, Shiv Sagar in Assam, Dholavir in Gujarat, and Adi Chanalur in Tamil Nadu. A recuration of the Indian museums in Kolkata, announced by PM in January 2020. Museum on Numismatics and Trade to be located in the historic Old Mint Building, Kolkata. 4 more museums from across the country to be taken up for renovation and recuration. Support for setting up of a tribal museum in Ranchi. Jharkhand. Maritime museum to be set up at Lothal, the Harappan Age maritime site near Ahmedabad, by Ministry of Shipping. Environment and climate change. On environment, states that are formulating and implementing plans for ensuring cleaner air in cities above 1 million to be encouraged. Parameters for incentives to be notified by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and the allocation for this purpose is rupees 4,400 crore for 2020-21. Governance. Dwelling on the issue of governance as clean, corruption-free, policy-driven, and good in intent, and most importantly, trusting in faith, the Finance Minister announced setting up of a National Recruitment Agency. An independent professional specialized organization for conduct of a computer-based online common eligibility test for recruitment of non-gazetted posts. A test center in every district, particularly in the aspirational districts, would also be set up. It is also proposed to evolve a robust mechanism for appointment, including direct recruitment to various tribunals and specialized bodies to attract best talents and professionals experts. Deliberation to strengthen the Contract Act is also on. Financial sector. The FM said that in the last few years, the Government of India has infused about rupees 3,50,000 crore by the way of capital into the PSBs for regulatory and growth purposes. Governance reforms would be carried out in these banks so that they become more competitive. Government has already approved consolidation of 10 banks into 4. Further, the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation has been permitted to increase deposit insurance coverage for a depositor, which is now rupees 1 lakh to rupees 5 lakh per depositor. The limit for NBFCs to be eligible for debt recovery under the SARFAESI Act 2002, that is Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interests, is proposed to be reduced from rupees 500 crore to asset size of rupees 100 crore or loan size from existing rupees 1 crore to rupees 50 lakh. To meet the need for greater private capital, it is proposed to sell the balance holding of Government of India IDBI Bank to private retail and institutional investors through the stock exchange. To help easy mobility while in jobs, we wish to infuse into the universal pension coverage with auto enrollment. More than 5 lakh MSMEs have benefited from restructuring of debt permitted by the RBI in the last year. The restructuring window was to end on 31 March 2020. Government has asked RBI to consider extending this window till March 31, 2021. For selected sectors such as pharmaceuticals, auto components and others, it is proposed to extend hand-holding support for technology upgradation, research and development, business strategy, etc. A scheme of rupees 1000 crore will be anchored by Exim Bank together with SIDBI. Financial markets. On financial markets, about deepening on the bond market, certain specified categories of government securities would be open fully for non-resident investors, apart from being available to domestic investors as well. Government also proposes to expand by floating a new debt ETF, exchange traded fund, a new debt ETF consisting primarily of government securities. This will give retail investors access to government securities as much as giving an attractive investment for pension funds and long-term investors. To address the liquidity constraints of the NBFCs, HFCs, post the Union Budget 2019-20, the government formulated a partial credit guarantee scheme for the NBFCs. The government and RBI has taken various measures to permit rupee derivatives to be traded in the International Financial Services Center at the Gift City, Gujarat. International Financial Services Center at the Gift City. Disinvestment. On disinvestment, FM said that listing of companies on stock exchanges discipline a company and provides access to financial markets and unlocks its value. It also gives opportunities for retail investors to participate in the wealth so created. The government now proposes to sell a part of its holding in LIC by way of IPO, initial public offer. Fiscal management. On fiscal management, the FM said that 15th Finance Commission has given its first report pertaining to financial year 2021. In the spirit of cooperative federalism, government in substantial measure accepted the recommendations of the Commission. The Commission would submit its final report to the President during the latter part of the year for 5 years beginning 2021-2022. FM also announced to transfer to the GST compensation fund balances due out of collection of the year 2016-17 and 2017-18 in 2 installments. Hereinafter, transfers to the funds would be limited only to collection by way of GST compensation cess. The revised estimates of expenditure for the financial year 2019-20 are at a level of rupees 26.99 lakh crore and the receipts are estimated at rupees 19.32 lakh crore. FM said, government has estimated nominal growth of GDP for the year 2021 on the basis of the trends available at 10%. Accordingly, receipts for the year 2021 are estimated at rupees 22.46 lakh crore, and keeping in mind commitment of the government towards various schemes and need for improvement in quality of life, level of expenditure has been kept at rupees 30.42 lakh crore. A good part of the borrowings of the financial year 2021 would go towards capital expenditure of the government that has been scaled up by more than 21%. FM said that the measures would spur growth impulses in the economy. Part B of the budget. FM said that the Union government has spearheaded radical fiscal measures to ensure that the India's economy continues to trend the path of high growth. FM said that to make sure India stays globally competitive and a favored destination for investment, a bold historic decision was taken to reduce the corporate tax rate for new companies in manufacturing sector to an unprecedented level of 15%. For existing companies, the rate has been brought down to 22%. As a result, our corporate tax rates are now amongst the lowest in the world. The FM said that in the continuation of the reform measures already taken so far, the tax proposals in this budget introduce further reforms to stimulate growth, simplify tax structure, being ease of compliance and reduce litigations, personal income and simplification of taxation, in order to provide significant relief to the individual taxpayers and to simplify the income tax law. The FMs had proposed to bring a new and simplified personal income tax regime wherein tax rates will be significantly reduced for the individual taxpayer who forego certain deductions and exemptions. The proposed changes in the tax slabs are listed in the following table. From first, from 0 to 2.5 lakh, existing tax rates are exempted, and the new tax rates are exempted from existing as well as new tax rates. From 2.5 to 5 lakhs, 5% in the existing tax rates and 5% in the new tax rates. From 5 to 7.5 lakhs, 20% in the existing tax rates and 10% in the new tax rates. From 7.5 to 10 lakh, 20% in the existing tax rates and the 15% in the new tax rates. From 10 to 12.5 lakh, 30% in the existing and 20% in the new. From 12.5 to 15 lakh, 30% in the existing and 25% in the new tax rates. Above 15 lakh, 30% each. Surcharge and cess shall be continued to be levied at the existing rates. In the new tax regime, substantial tax benefit will accrue to a taxpayer depending on exemptions and deductions claimed by him. For example, a person earning rupees 15 lakh in the year and not availing any deductions etc. will pay only rupees 1,95,000 as compared to rupees 2,70,000 in the old regime. Thus, his tax burden shall be reduced by rupees 70,000 in the new regime. He would still be the gainer in the new regime even if he was taking reduction of rupees 1.5 lakh under the various sections of the chapter 6A of the Income Tax Act under the old regime. The new tax regime shall be optional for taxpayers. An individual who is currently availing the more deductions and exemptions under the Income Tax Act may choose to avail them and continue to pay tax in the old regime. The new personal income tax rates will entail estimated revenue foregone of rupees 40,000 crore per year. Measures have been initiated to pre-fill the income tax return so that an individual who opts for the new regime would need no assistance from an expert to file his return and pay income tax. The FM said she had reviewed all exemptions and reductions which got incorporated in the income tax legislation over the past several decades. Currently, more than 100 exemptions and reductions for different natures are provided in the Income Tax Act. FM said that she has removed around 70 of them in the new simplified regime. FM said that the remaining exemptions and reductions would also be reviewed and rationalized in the coming years with a view to further simplifying the tax system and lowering the tax rate. DDT, Dividend Distribution Tax. Currently, companies are required to pay DDT on a dividend paid to its shareholders at the rate of 15% plus applicable surcharge and cess, in addition to the tax payable by the company on its profits. In order to increase the attractiveness of the Indian equity market and to provide relief to a large class of investors, the FM has proposed to remove dividend distribution tax and adopt the classical system of dividend taxation, under which the companies would not be required to pay dividend distribution tax. The dividend shall be taxed only in the hands of the recipients at their applicable rate. In order to remove the cascading effect, the FM has proposed to allow reductions by the dividend received by the holding company from its subsidiary. The removal of DDT will lead to estimated annual revenue foregone of rupees 25,000. This will further make India an attractive destination for investment. Concessional tax rates for electricity generation companies. New provisions were introduced in September 2019, offering a concessional corporate tax rate of 15% to the newly incorporated domestic companies in the manufacturing sector which starts manufacturing by 31st March 2023. In order to attract investment in the power sector, it has been proposed to extend the concessional corporate tax rate of 15% to new domestic companies engaged in the generation of electricity. Tax concessions for foreign investment. To incentivize investment by sovereign wealth fund for foreign governments, the Finance Minister has proposed to grant 100% tax exemptions to their interest, dividend and capital gains income in respect of the investment made in infrastructure and other notified sectors before 31st March 2024 and with the minimum lock-in period of 3 years. Startups. The FM noted that during their formative years, startups generally use Employee Stock Option Plan (ESOP) to attract and retain highly talented employees. Currently, Employee Stock Option Plan are taxable as prerequisites at the time of exercise. In order to give a boost to the startup ecosystem, the FM has proposed to ease the burden of taxation on the employees by deferring the tax payment for 5 years or till they leave the company or when they sell their shares, whichever is earliest. An eligible startup having turnover up to 25 crore is allowed reduction of 100% on its profits for 3 consecutive assessment years out of 7 years if the total turnover does not exceed rupees 25 crore rupees. FM has proposed to increase this limit to rupees 100 crore. She has also proposed to extend the profit of eligibility for claim of deductions from the existing 7 years to 10 years. Concessional tax rate for cooperatives. Cooperative societies are currently taxed at the rate of 30% with surcharge and cess. As a major concession and in order to bring parity between the cooperative societies and corporates, the FM has proposed to provide an option to cooperative societies to be taxed at 22% plus 10% surcharge and 4% cess with no exemptions or deductions. FM has also proposed to exempt these societies from alternate minimum tax, just like companies under the new tax regime are exempted from the minimum alternate minimum tax. MSME. In order to reduce the compliance burden on small retailers, traders, shopkeepers who comprise the MSME sector, the FM has proposed to raise by 5 times the turnover threshold for audit from the existing rupees 1 crore to rupees 5 crore in order to boost less cash economy. FM has proposed that the increased limit shall apply only to those businesses which carry out less than 5% of their business transaction in the cash. Affordable housing. In the last budget, FM had announced an additional deduction of up to 1,50,000 rupees for interest paid on loans taken for purchase of an affordable house. The date of loan sanction for availing this additional deduction is proposed to be extended by 1 year beyond 31st March 2020. Charity institutions. Income of charity institutions is fully exempted from taxation. Donation made to these institutions is also allowed as deductions in computing the taxable income of the donor. It is proposed to pre-fill the donee information in taxpayer return on the basis of the information of donations furnished by donee. In order to claim the tax exemption, charity institutions have to be registered with the income tax department. It is proposed to make the registration completely electronic under the unique registration number to be issued to all the new and existing charity institutions. Faceless appeals. In order to impart greater efficiency, transparency and accountability to the assessment process, a new faceless assessment scheme has already been introduced. It is proposed to amend the Income Tax Act so as to enable faceless appeal on the lines of faceless assessment. Vivad se Vishwas scheme. Under the proposed Vivad se Vishwas scheme, a taxpayer would be required to pay only the amount of the disputed taxes and will get complete waiver of the interest and penalty, provided he pays by 31st March 2020. Those who will avail the scheme after 31st March 2020 will have to pay some additional amount. The scheme will remain open till 30 June 2020. Instant PAN through Aadhaar. In order to further ease the process of allotment of PAN, a system will be launched under which PAN shall be instantly allotted online on the basis of Aadhaar without any requirement for filling up of the detailed application form. Indirect tax GST. A simplified GST return shall be implemented from 1st April 2020. It will make return filing simple with features like SMS-based filling for nil return pre-filling, improved input tax credit flow, and overall simplification. Dynamic QR code is proposed for consumer invoices. GST parameters will be captured when payment for purchases is made through the QR code. Customs. On the customs side, India has taken a quantum leap in the trading across border parameter of the ease of doing business rankings by the World Bank. India's rank has improved from 146 to 68. Imports under free trade agreements are on the rise. Undue claims of the FTA benefits have posed threat to domestic industry. In the coming months, rules of origin requirements shall be reviewed, particularly for certain sensitive items, so as to ensure that free trade agreements are aligned to the conscious direction of our policy. Labor-intensive sectors in the MSME are critical for employment generation. Cheap and low-quality imports are an impediment for their growth. Keeping in view the need of this sector, custom duty is being raised on items like the footwear and furniture. Custom duty is being raised on the items like the footwear and furniture. Rate of duty for footwear is being raised from 25-35%, and for the parts of footwear from 15 to 20%. Rate of duty for specified furniture goods is being raised from 20 to 25%. To give impetus to domestic industry to generate resources for health services, it is proposed to impose a nominal health cess of 5% on imports of specialized medical equipments. Basic customs duty on imports of newsprints and lightweight coated paper is being reduced from 10 to 5%. An increase is proposed in the national calamity contingent duty on cigarettes and tobacco products. National calamity contingent duty on beedies remained unchanged.